Hi, I'm here. It's been a crazy month and a half with getting everything wrapped up for the semester, with grading, with politics at school, with trying to get all committee meetings out of the way. I haven't been able to record lectures the way I wanted to, just because of how busy it's been. Um, I wanted to wrap up the class though, send you at least one more message. I'm not sure at this point how many of you will actually watch this because of it's busy for you as well, and we're almost over. And once you get your grade, 132 is done. You don't have to think about it anymore. But I wanted to send one more message and talk a little bit about the meaning of the class and what we did and why we did it. Um, at the at the very basic level, English 132 is about preparing you to write for future classes, preparing you to become a college student. You did that a little bit in 131, but 132 is supposed to refine it, to help you with your authoritative voice, to help you with doing scholarship, to help you with becoming a professional in whatever field you choose. And that goes for people. Sorry, that got really close. That goes for people who are going into a career path and going into a program where they're just going to get a certificate, or it goes for people who are starting their college career at a community college, or then going to go to a four-year university and then are going to go to grad school or law school or medical school. Whatever your goals are, 132 is supposed to prepare your writing, your thinking, your research ability for meeting those goals. That's one thing. I also think I teach writing. That is my field. That's what I research. That's what I work on. I teach it as a social part of the academic work we do. That writing is not just something you do for a class, it's something you do for the world. And as a writer, you have a responsibility to do things in the world. And I believe that whoever you are a writer. And whatever you end up doing, you have some component of your life that is about writing or about commenting, about being a part of the world. This all goes back to democratic theory, it all goes back to justice theory, where we are all parts of this world. We all have a responsibility to this world. We all come together in this world. And um, the more, whatever our individual fields are, we have a responsibility to speak with the authority in that field to show how our understanding of that field, our understanding of, um, of our own authority, can provide a new interpretation of the things around us. So let me give you an example. On the day after the election, um, you know, I don't know what your politics are. My politics are not that hard to figure out. But whatever your politics, on the day after the election, I think everybody was a little bit shocked on what happened. I think Donald Trump was probably a little shocked on what happened. I don't think he ever expected to win, and he did. It would not surprise me if he's still in a little bit of shock, just based on some of the things that he said and some of the ways that it's moving. So I think everybody was in a little bit of shock. I went to Barry's Bagels that morning after dropping the kids off at school, after talking with them in the morning about what had happened and what that will mean, and then dropping them off at school. I went to Barry's Bagels, as I often do, to get my breakfast. And I walked in, and one of the counter people was working, making bagels. And in the middle of it, she was arguing with her fellow employees and talking about how they just needed to get off her back and leave her alone. And she was in tears at one point. This was all in the course of her making me my farmer's egel. She was upset, um, and she was clearly upset because she didn't want Donald Trump to win, and so she didn't understand what was happening. She had very little way to deal emotionally with the events at that moment. I think she was feeling the way a lot of people were, even those who wanted Donald Trump to win, those who didn't. It was just a complete paradigm shift, and she didn't know what to do with it. In the course of the last month, I would imagine She has heard news events, has heard people speaking, has read a newspaper or read stuff online, whatever it is that she does in her daily life. I would imagine she's heard people talking with her, talking to her, people she's talked with that have helped the world come back together for her in some way or another, just as it is as for Donald Trump to some extent, just as it has for me, just as it probably has for Hillary Clinton, just as it has maybe for you. That things didn't make sense for a moment. And then through the course of time, through the course of talking to people, through the course of reading things and thinking about what other people's ideas are, the world has come back together. Put my hands together. John Trimber says that commentary gives us a way to make the world cohere, stick together. It gives us a way to understand the world in new ways according to how other people think. That's what writing does. Writing helps us understand the world in new ways. It helps us see the world through other people's eyes, through other people's expertise. Now, this woman who was working behind the bagel counter has an expertise. She has an expertise in dealing with customers. She has an expertise in serving people of all different kinds of colors and monies and genders and identities and beliefs. She has an expertise in restaurant service and making food. She has expertises, and those expertises allow her to talk about the world in a way that is uniquely her own. You, as a pharmacy tech, as a criminal justice major, as a future lawyer, as a English major, as a future nurse, as a culinary arts person, you have your own expertises. It may actually just be expertise. You have your own expertise. Just like John Dewey has his expertise. Bell Hooks has her expertise. Uh, um, Mary Wollstonecraft has her own expertise. These authors, these amazing thinkers, these thinkers that have gone down through the history of the world in the last 300 years or more, because we actually read Plato. These authors have expertise that have helped countless millions of people make the world cohere. And you have your expertise. Maybe the writing that you do will never show up in a textbook. Maybe the thinking that you do will only help a select few people make the world cohere. But it does make the world cohere. My wife is a dietitian. She's a dietitian. She works in a hospital. She goes to from patient room to patient room, talking with people about the kind of choices they make with eating, with food, with not eating, with how they feel, and how the food helps them feel. And she helps them. She helps them think about what choices they should make with eating. She tries to help me with that, but you can see maybe she's not as effective at home as she is at work. When she goes from room to room, she brings her expertise and she helps people understand, put together their food choices with their health, their what they choose to eat or drink, and how that makes them feel. She makes the world cohere for them through her expertise, and she also has political views based on that expertise. Whatever it is that you're doing, wherever it is that you're going, you will make the world cohere. And you do that through your own authority. You're just like John Dewey. You're just like Mary Wollstonecraft. Maybe you won't have audiences of millions that you influence, but you do have an influence. You have an impact. You change the world through your views. English 132 is a place where you refine that ability, where you start to develop ways of thinking that are more professional, more more researched, more scholarly, where you start to recognize some expertise, or at least some tools that you can use to enhance your expertise. I hope that's what this class has done for you. I hope you've experienced yourself, your own ideas, your own language in a new way. And I hope through the reading that we've done that you've seen the value of having a voice, of having ideas that you put out into the world that might actually change the world. This may all sound idealistic to you. It may sound way out of bounds of what you see as the possibility for your writing. But I believe it. I believe that whatever your little portion of the world is, you have an ability to make that portion of the world more knowledgeable, make more sense. You have the ability to affect others and help them understand the world in a new way. And I believe that good thinking, good planning, good writing, good research, I believe these things come together to help you do that more effectively, to help you be a better citizen of the world. And if you can do that at the same time that you also build a belief about democracy and build a belief about justice, where you can start to understand issues of race and gender and economics, where you can understand how we are all in this together, and you can bring that together with your expertise, I believe you become a very important citizen. That's weak language. You become a citizen, which is the most that we can expect from each other. Thank you for being part of the class. Thank you for going along with it, for having patience with all the technical difficulty, with the work that you've put into this class. I've enjoyed teaching the class. I've enjoyed putting this class together. The online stuff, I've not enjoyed as much. I'm actually going to teach this class again in the winter semester, but I'm going to do it in the brick and mortar classroom where people can see this lovely face every day, where I can see your lovely faces every day, and where I think that the discussions should be pretty fascinating when we are doing it face to face. I want to give you a couple of extra announcements here at the end so that you can know what's happening with your work. I'm going to start grading this evening. I've already gotten a few final papers in. I'm going to put grades up online, and the grades will go on GroupWise, on Web. I'm sorry, not on GroupWise. They will go on WebAdvisor, and you'll just see a grade there. You won't see a breakdown at all. As we know, the Moodle Room's gradebook does not tell you anything. The balances are so far off that it won't really tell you how that grade is determined. Just keep in mind your grade is determined through the forums, your participation in the class, your quizzes, whether or not you met with me, and then also through the 4 short writings and the major writing and your exams. All those numbers come together to make your grade. If you see your final grade and you disagree with it, or you don't understand how it got there, you can send me an email and say, hey Mike, will you give me a breakdown of my grade? And I'll do that. It may take me a few days to get to all the emails, but I will certainly give you a breakdown of your grade. If you see your final grade and you thought it was higher than it should have been, don't say anything about that. If you can still send me an email and ask for a breakdown, but don't try to argue me out of giving you a better grade. If you would like some feedback on your final paper, on your work for the class, I've got to put some other grades in with the Writing 3 and the Your In-Class exams. I don't know if I'm going to put those into Moodle or not. It depends on how much people really want me to put up there. But if you want some feedback on the final paper or on your performance in the class, you can feel free to send me an email and say, can you give me some more substantive feedback? I'm happy to do that. I don't want to go and do that for everybody because I know that some people are just not interested. They just want to know what their grade is. So I won't respond to you I won't send you an email with a grade breakdown or with feedback on your papers unless you send me an email. You should send that email to my HFCC email, and I will get back to you. Let's see. If you would like to meet with me, I'll be back in the office in January. I'm happy to meet with you and talk with you about what I saw or what I think you can do with your writing. I'm happy to do that. So you just have to schedule a meeting with me. Two other things. One is I actually this year won the Faculty Lectureship Award. I will be every year one member of the HFC faculty wins what's called the faculty lectureship. That means you get to give a lecture to whoever wants to come. That kind of represents the school and the academic work. I'm going to be giving that lecture in the winter semester, probably in February. That lecture will be actually on democracy and community colleges. So look out for the announcement for that if you're interested. I'd love to see some of you there, just to, if you want to see me perform on the stage. I don't think I'll wear a tie, but I'll be performing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you need any guidance or advice on writing or on where you're going to go with your schoolwork, or if you would like to talk about other classes that you might want to take, I'm happy to talk with you about that. This is an online class. We haven't got to know each other very well, but that doesn't mean that you haven't been a student. It doesn't mean I don't know your writing. So I might be able to help you out with that if you would like to talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you very much for being a member of the class, for the work that you've done. If I can help you out at all, if you need to know more about your grade or about your writing, please send me an email. Have a great break. I hope you get a lot of relaxation. I hope you get to play in the snow. I hope you get everything you ever wanted for whatever holidays it is that you celebrate. And Happy New Year. Let's hope 2017 works out differently than 2016 did, because, once Prince died, it was just kind of all over for me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.